the last video we saw a mention of a match that turned out to be Kadema, and I pointed out how Kadem means the east, but it could also be referring to a root of the Kadmonites, since they have the same first three letters, so Kadem. And I found this in the sources, which confirms the relationship to the Cainites and Kadema, because we see here, so corresponding to the name of Ishmael's son, and we know that we saw earlier the line from Ishmael's son through to Jethro, and we know that Jethro was referred to as an an Ishmaelite. So corresponding to the name of Ishmael's son Kadema, which we noted earlier, the sons of Kadem were so called because they dwelt in the territory belonging to Cain. So there's your connection. His children were also called sons of Cain. As it is said, now Heber the Cainite had separated himself from Cain. Were not all the sons of Cain cut off by the waters of the flood? But because they dwelt in the territory of the children of Cain, his children were called sons of Cain. As it is said, nevertheless, Cain shall be wasted as long as Ashur shall dwell in thy place. And that's the prophecy of Bilam. Nevertheless, Cain shall be wasted away by fire through the seed of Ishmael. The latter shall cause the kingdom of Assyria to cease. So there's your connection in many points. Kadma, Ishmael, Cain, sons of Cain, Caini. And this is this word that has to do with the jealousies or envies in messianic prophecy. Another messianic prophecy, the jealousy of Ephraim in Isaiah 11, which we pointed out in the very first video, I believe. And here's another source which we've gone over many times, the families of scholars or scribes, those who dwelt with Jabez. And they are the Kenites, who were descended from Hamath, the father of the house of Rechab. So we've been over this many times. The father of the house of Rechab. And it says, and the family of scholars, those who dwelt with Jabez, Jabez's company over whom he ruled, as it is written below, and Jabez was more esteemed than his brothers. And they are the Cainites. And where do they live? They are surely inhabitants of Cain, a name of a place, as it is written, Cain, Gibeah, and Timnah, 10 cities. And here's your source. Who were descended from Hamath, the father of the house of Rechab, who were descended from Hamath, who was the house of Rechab, and they settled in Cain. Another interpretation, Jabez is the name of a city in which which belonged to Issachar, as it is written, and Rabbath and Kishon and Ebetz. So Kishon, sounds very similar to that brook, the ancient brook from Deborah's song that has to do with a Cainite, Yael, in Judges chapter 5. Remember, she mentions that ancient brook Kishon. And then it says here, they are the Cainites. And as I've mentioned many times, they were metal workers, and specifically silversmiths, but they worked with all the different types of metal: copper, bronze, gold, and silver. So silversmiths, here's your source, and she gave it to the silversmith. The silversmith means the Cainite. So there's much evidence that says the Cainites were metal craftsmen, and this is important to remember when you consider some of the connections in the gematria to the temple and the menorah and the tabernacle. So here's some more. And the children of Cain, the father-in-law of Moses, who is Jethro, went up from the city of the date palms with the children of Judah into the wilderness of Judah, which is south of Arad, and he went and dwelt with the people. And the city of date palms, that is Jericho. They were given fat pasture grounds of Jericho to eat until the temple would be built. The one in whose portion the temple was to be built would take this instead, so that all children could have a portion in the temple, so that the temple would not be built upon private property of any particular tribe. It was given to the children of Jethro for 440 years until the temple was built, during which the students among them left it and went to Othniel, the son of Kenaz, who we've mentioned many times, this is the root of like Kenites, or is related to Kenites, and cainite, who is Jabez in the desert of Judah, which is in the south of Arad, to study Torah, and dwelt with the people, with the students who sat before him. He asked of God to provide him for proper students, as it is said, and Jabez called to God, and he provided for him these pious people. Many points of connection to do with all of these people and places and metals. It all lines up and adds up to the Cainites.